Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Sopiarz-Rianda. I hope you had a good weekend, and I hope you are ready for this next session because it is a big one. All of the research you've been doing and all of the claims that you've been making and conclusions and building your research wiki has really come to this session. And in this session, session 4, we're going to be surveying, drafting, writing introductions and conclusions to your first draft of your research paper. You will be submitting your first draft to me in Schoology. You will be submitting your second draft, your final draft, into turnitin.com. So please be aware of that as you begin to draft your first version of your research paper. So our session plan this week, like I said, we're pretty busy. In this session, we're finally going to begin writing the research papers. So we'll also consider what makes a good research paper and ask our friends and family to provide some insight to our papers. So again, we're going to be doing exactly what we did in Unit 5, but you are going to be doing it on your own topic. So on Monday, you should watch this weekly update as always. And then also you should create and distribute your survey to your friends and family. Also post it onto the discussion board. Once you post your survey onto the discussion board, also be so kind as to take at least 2 or 3 other surveys of students in the discussion. The more responses you get, the better your analysis will be. Just like when we did our MLK survey and analysis, you'll be doing the same thing for your topic. On Tuesday, review the qualifications for the final paper very carefully and read through the example papers and post reactions to the discussion board. All of the information presented this week is extremely important, so please just don't skip to the end. I know you don't, right? Really process and slow down and go through all the content in this week's session because it's super important. On Wednesday, write your introduction to your paper and then post 2 more times to the example analysis discussion. On Thursday and Friday, work on your first draft, and then finally on Friday, submit it. So as always, I'm going to walk you through this. In the upper right-hand corner, click Next, and you can see that these are the essential questions that we're going to be considering in this session. Okay, so our first task for this week is to create a survey, exactly like the one actually, that I created for you about MLK back in Unit 1. You are going to create a survey using Google Forms. And you're going to create a 3-question survey about how your subject has impacted our world today. And here's examples of, for example, for Jackie Robinson, these could be 3 types of survey questions that you would build your survey around. Once you create your survey, you're going to distribute that survey to your family and friends on Facebook, on Twitter, put it on our discussion board in our classroom, and also respond to your classmates, at least 2 or 3. Surveys so that everyone can get some information. So the information you gather on the survey will be really important for your final research. So you'll want to create interesting questions that get to the heart of who your person really is in our society. So here on the left is a video on how to create and how to use a Google survey and use Google Forms. So please watch this video. It's extremely important because otherwise, if you don't know how to use Google Docs or Google Forms, then you will be lost. So be sure to watch this video. If you can't open it up, there's the website right there. Okay? And then here, share that link into the discussion board and take at least 2 other students' survey to help gather their information. Share the love, people. Share the love. On these next 2 slides, these are the requirements for this essay. So please be sure to review all of these requirements for the essay. And down here is also the rubric. So please go through that really carefully and be sure to include all those important elements. What we're going to do next is you are going to review examples. The best way to know how to write is to look at some examples, some research papers. So these papers listed below here are student examples. And they're not necessarily perfect by any means, but they provide you help to think about what works and what doesn't work in your paper. Okay, so read through the papers, the example papers, and in the discussion, post to the discussion board these questions. What makes a good research paper? Of the examples shared on the last page, which organizational pattern or style best fits the paper that we're writing? And what are some elements of the example papers that you'd like to imitate in your writing? So be sure to respond to all 3 of these questions and post at least 2 other times. So you should have a total of 3 points to this discussion in analyzing the research examples. Here, we're focusing on crafting your introduction. And here are a few strategies to writing an effective and engaging introduction. So review those. And here are some common mistakes, biggest pitfalls to avoid while you are writing your paper. And really important right here is an example of all the different types of strategies here applied to MLK. So be sure to review this PDF, be sure to review this example as far as all the different types of introductions that you can craft. Finally, you'll begin writing your first draft. So now that you have your introduction written, it's time to draft the rest of the paper. So remember that your final paper should meet these qualifications. They provide an overview of a small portion of a person's life without sounding like an encyclopedia, focused on one topic within their life or one time period in their life. You also make an argument on why your person is influential in today's world. Don't forget this really important element. You have to argue why this person is influential. It is an argument. It is persuasive. So you need to persuade the reader that, yes, this person is extremely influential in our world today, and why. And then provide evidence from your survey and your research on how your person changed our world today. And here on the left-hand side, I've provided an outline, a suggested outline. You don't have to use it, but I highly, highly recommend you do, because it's just a nice, clean format on all the different elements that are required in this essay. So I'll probably be referring you to this outline a lot if you don't use it, because you might have forgotten important aspects of it. So go ahead, and once you use that outline, kind of fill in all of the details, go ahead and write your first draft. It will be easier if your draft includes parenthetical citations from the beginning, since you'll be incorporating research information through the paper. So each piece of information that's not from your own head should have a citation immediately after it in MLA format. The parenthetical citation just includes the author's name and a page number, if applicable. So your first draft should be about 4 or 5 pages long, and the outline on the left, like I said, provides you a possible organization pattern. So once you are done writing your first draft, what you'll need to do is submit it here to me in Schoology on the next page. It is worth 100 points. So please be sure to not blow this off or think that, oh, I'll just write my final. No, you need to write your first, because I provide all this information. Once you submit your first draft, I will be giving you information and feedback in Schoology that I expect you to incorporate into your final draft. Okay, and remember, your final draft will be submitted into turnitin.com. So please be aware of that as you start the writing process. Okay? If you have any questions throughout this week, please contact me. I'm happy to help, and have a fantastic week.